Hello, everybody. Live with an espresso shot for you. It is the OZone. We're calling in from various points of Southern California. I myself am doing roll call from Montebello because I'm on set of the hit television show, The Unicorn. But I'm here with my brother from the same mother, the Icons. We got a lot to talk about. It's big news because they're throwing around big money in Major League Baseball. What in the hell is going on with $324 million for Garrett Cole?
Weight. That's a lot of heavy weight, man. That's a lot of money. I mean, it averages out almost what? Man, how much is he going to get?
$44,000 a batter that he will face.
That's
How
crazy.
about that?
I mean, do you think he's overvalued though? Is that overvaluing him? I mean, literally, what they've said now is that they've outpriced themselves to keep Aaron Judge there for his whole career with the contracts that they have on board already.
Here's the thing. Baseball has no salary cap. So I don't know about overvalued. The other thing that baseball has is that they've doubled their revenue recently to $10 billion. I think it's a double from just maybe this past decade. That's a lot of money. And the difference is they don't rip you off like the other sports do. And I won't even say other sports. Basically, the only sport I'm talking about is football, because basketball players, you got Mike Conley getting $40 million a year, $40 million a year. This is the time to be young and athletic. Any of you young kids out there listening, exercise some discipline. Tighten your game up and work on your game and go get paid and help your family out, because they are giving away major cheese.
Out of high school, this is a lot of money. I mean, but not only that, we're not even talking about Steven Strasburg. That's $245 out the door. I mean, $245
is big cheese. Steven Strasburg re-signs the World Series MVP, who absolutely positively dealt all throughout the season and especially in the postseason, is now locked up as a member of the Washington Nationals for the next, I think, 7 years. And he signed for $245, but I'm going to tell you who the real loser is and who may be the best out of the bunch is, as we all know, my favorite, Jacob deGrom. Right. Jake deGrom gave the New York Mets so much love because he signed last year an extension for 5 years and $137 instead of hitting the free agent market. There's rumors that he is going to bring up his agent on charges. What is going on here?
Well, forget about that. I mean, literally, look at Mike Trout.
You can't forget about 5 and 137. Jake deGrom is as good as anybody else that we're talking about, and everybody in the world knows
pitchers. But we're talking about pitchers who pitch every 5 games. When I speak about it, I'm talking about Mike Trout, who gave them crazy love. Because if we're talking about a guy who pitches every 5 games, Mike Trout could have asked for $1 billion almost. I mean, literally. Come on, man. This is crazy.
It's only crazy because it's relative to how we think about it, remembering when Ricky Henderson got $1 million a year, and that was insane.
That was big.
Rick brought $1 million on the scene, and it was like $1 million.
It was like, well, if you want a prime time player, you got
that's what he said. This week in baseball, Rick said, if you want an MVP type player like Ricky Henderson, you have to come up with MVP money. and the Yankees did that.
Right. Do you know how much a guy like
Ricky 24? Oh, stop it! A guy who directly affects every aspect of the game. Rick got to be good for $500 million in today's climate.
Right. Well, you know what? And it's cool because the Yankees and everybody's they got their money, but through the years lately, nobody's really been getting paid like this. You know, the pitchers actually.
Well, the thing is, pitchers get paid, but the day-to-day players aren't getting paid, and they need to figure out the collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah, that's crazy because not to knock the guys pitching every 5 games, because the 5 games that they are pitching are dominant games. But
and Garrett Cole makes a difference in any series.
Yeah, but that's 20 games or 21 games out of the year when you're talking about a guy like Judge who can impact 150, 160 games. I mean, that's a lot. Everyday players, man. He impacts the game in some form or fashion when he's in the lineup every single game, if he could stay healthy.
And everybody in the lineup. Aaron Judge is influencing the way that the guys pitch the whole lineup.
Right, and the pitchers don't do that. I don't have to worry about Garrett Cole. I might not even see him in the series. You might not even see him in one of the big series.
I might sneak by.
Come on, man.
I might sneak by and not have to face that cheese. Man.
He has the highest has the highest strikeout ratio per 9 in history now.
Garrett Cole does?
Yes.
Well, did you see that thing that I sent you? Uh-oh. They're coming to get me, folks. Hold on a second. You got a little bit of a scare outside. But how about this? Let's just throw this out there and we're going to move on. Since 1947, the top 10 starting pitchers by ERA with 1,000 innings pitched minimum Our number one, Clayton Kershaw, at 244, which, by the way, is absurd because he hasn't even been great, if you will, his normal self the past few seasons. Number two, guy named Jacob deGrom at 262. Garrett Cole's name is not on the list. Steven Strasburg's name is not on the list. And it's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing shakes out, especially with the Mets now selling, had reason to sell the team. So that the Wilpons are getting rid of the team.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, they've sold partial, 80% of the team now?
And then there's going to be a transition situation.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, let the team grow, fill the stands with people who actually want to come and watch the game and going to root for the team, and give them a good product. And I feel like everybody have that potential to make that kind of money and sell their teams, because eventually, the bottom line is that's what it's all about. It's all about you selling your teams, making that big money, getting that TV ad revenue. And, a lot of teams can't capitalize on that, like the Angels and Artie Moreno, who by the way, are after Anthony Rendon now, big time.
Apparently, they were really in on Cole, too. Artie doesn't have a problem with opening the pocketbook, especially if you're an outfielder. He will open up the checkbook. Want to keep moving here, and Didi Gregorius, Sir Didi, is going to Philly. Philly still has stupid money. They've decided that they're spending at all costs. That's a crazy lineup that they're going to have over there.
Great pickup. Didi in the middle of that lineup, or in the top of that lineup. He's a contact.
Didi's a winner.
Yeah, contact/gap hitter who has a nice pop.
Not going to lose many games because of Didi Gregorius. I'll tell you that much. You win a lot more.
They just need to get the pitcher rotation together. Literally.
They do. And what you don't need to do is to pay Zach Wheeler 118. Basically, you're telling me Zach Wheeler is the equivalent of Jacob deGrom as per his salary. No, and that's absurd.
That's so far from the truth.
Just plain and simply not true. Unbelievable. So we're going to keep these espresso shots up, folks, because we got more hot stove action. The global warming, climate change is heating up because it's getting hot. Guys are getting paid. I want to move on, though, because we have our college sports specialist on the line. Do it for the Tipper. They announced bowl season. What are you thinking? How did you miss on that Oregon upset? And what happened with Wisconsin, and how did they blow that lead?
Why you got to put me on the spot like that?
Listen, this is the OZone, baby. It's unfair, and we are partial. We want winners. People might be betting on this. Can't get it wrong. What happened and what will happen with these top four teams in the BCS Championship Series?
Well, it's going down, OZone. It's going down. Do it for the Tipper back on the scene, going into the holiday season and also bowl season. So get your checkbook ready, get your coins ready, so let's make some money. This past weekend, number 3 Clemson beat up on Virginia, 62-17. Ohio State, received numerous calls because Wisconsin was doing what Wisconsin was supposed to do and upset the Ohio State. They started off strong and ended up tanking at the end. They lost to Ohio State, ended up beating Wisconsin 34-21 in the Big Ten championship. Number 2, LSU, GEAUX Tigers, 37-10 over number 4 Georgia Bulldogs. Told y'all Georgia could not show up in the big bowl games or in the big games at all. So that's why we went with LSU. Number 6, Oklahoma, them young Sooners. They ended up putting hands on number 7 Baylor, 30-23. Number 20 Cincinnati. I told y'all Cincinnati cannot play on the road. If they had all their games at home, they would win. But football and sports don't work that way, so they ended up losing to number 17, Memphis, 24-29. Going into the big bowls, the Final Four of football, Oklahoma Sooners, number 4, is going to be matched up against the LSU GEAUX Tigers. I'm going with LSU, the Tigers. Then we got number 3, the Clemson Tigers. Clemson Dabo Swinney Tigers versus number 2 Ohio State. I think this season the BCS, they got everything pretty much right, but I believe you have to knock the champ out. Clemson Tigers was the champ last year, so they should be ranked number 1. Even regardless of the schedule. It's almost like in any other sport, you have these teams like Boise State that will have these soft schedules, and Notre Dame's have these soft schedules. But if they win out and go undefeated, they're still going to be number 1 because they're the champs. Clemson Tigers should be number 1. But in this case, they're ranked number 3.
I think you're a homer. I think you're a Clemson homer. You didn't even go to Clemson.
You're a hater. But anyway, Can I finish?
Yes.
Before you get pulled back on the set. So we're going to go with Clemson Tigers over Ohio State. At the beginning of the college football season, when we did the OZone back in August, I repeat, I ran with the Clemson Tigers to repeat as the national football champions. I roll with that. Clemson Tigers to win the playoffs and to be the national champions in 2020 when the Big Bowl happens. The college football season was amazing. I did miss, I'll say, out of all seasons, maybe about 10 to 15 picks I may have missed. But as a gambler and as a just upset rule, you want to go ahead and jump on those upsets just because you like the odds, because the odds are great. I missed on the Oregon with the Utah State last week on Friday night game. And I mentioned to those fans that Utah has not had a whole lot of TV time. They did upset USC earlier in the season. I figured that Oregon would be the favorite because Oregon has a bowl experience. It didn't happen. Well, Utah it was a good game. Really good game, but
just didn't go the way you wanted it to go.
Didn't go the way I went. So the top four, we got LSU, Ohio State, number 3 Clemson, we got number 4 Oklahoma, we got number 5 Georgia, number 6 Oregon, number 7 Baylor, number 8 Wisconsin. Alabama is, I think, 13 right now and well deserving. Shout out to Tua. I hope he gets well and make that impact to get that baseball money in football when he comes.
Yeah, I agree. That kid needs to switch over, man. And if popping your hip out of socket and busting your knee up doesn't let you know that, I don't know what will. Right.
So that's
he has a
hose.
Right he can play the game.
He can be a great center fielder. He's a lefty too. He can come out the pen and just
there's a lot of options.
Yeah.
A lot of options, and they'll pay him just on potential. Well, all right, for the Tipper. Appreciate your contribution. Want to move on quickly here. Just a couple news and notes. Now, we told you guys, if you watch the Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz rematch this weekend, you got to see Delian White on the undercard, and he looked a little physically sloppy. But part of that reason is because he wasn't prepared because he had gotten a doping suspension, which was lifted. They come to find that they made a mistake with the testing situation and not Delian. So one thing that's interesting is that now everything is falling back into the place for the young man. And although Anthony Joshua knocked him out, it is now he is the interim WBC champion, meaning that he is the mandatory for whoever wins between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. So you're going to see Delian chunk him soon with whoever it is that wins that belt on February 22nd, whether that is Deontay keeping the belt or Tyson Fury walking away with it. Very interesting. And also, that's a problem for what?
Both of them. For Fury and
I don't know. I actually think Fury probably gives Delian White more trouble than Wilder. Wilder is going to hit him big and heavy and can put him to sleep. We'll see which Delian White shows up. That's what I want to know. Because Delian, he puts on good heavyweight fights.
Take a punch.
Yeah. Well, you have to take the biggest punch if you're fighting Deontay. Very, very interested to see what happens there. And then we have, along those lines, with the boxing championships that are taking place, everybody and their mom has an opinion now and is pretty vocal about Andy Ruiz's conditioning or lack thereof. LL Cool J's come out and said something. But you name it. Anybody that has ever had an opinion on anything is disappointed in Andy Ruiz. And I think it's really starting to sink in on him that he really, really, really ate up $150 to $200 million, let alone losing his belts. And, it's going to be interesting to see how and if he bounces back, because people think Andy was some sort of a one-hit wonder. Andy's 33-2, like we said before. He ain't no chump. It's just that
I think everyone's seen the great potential that everyone's seen the potential that he had. But coming into the ring at 283, I don't think that Andy realized how much potential he had going into that fight. How he could have changed the whole dynamics of boxing by beating Anthony Joshua.
Well, he didn't have to beat him. This is the point. All he had to do was have a good showing, and it could have changed the dynamics of him being able to pick up crazy dough in the future.
Yeah.
Oh.
But this is the discipline.
Later, you sound like you got a piece to say about Andy. You sound like you got to get it out.
This is the discipline of it all, because to win the heavyweight championship, but to maintain that level or status is very, very hard to do, because guys buy into the good life. Then you lose focus, and then you lose the belt. You become a one-hit wonder. Like we said the last episode, there's been a few of them out there, but it's very hard to maintain that level. And that's why you have to respect these guys when they get that belt and hold on to it for a little while.
Yeah. And also, one last little bit on boxing. They're setting up a clash because they're going to have Jorge Linares and Ryan Garcia co-headline in a boxing event in early February in the LA area with hopes of them meeting later on in the year. And that could have the makings of a good fight. But I really would be surprised if, depending on which Jorge Linares shows up, but this would be a good test for Ryan Garcia whenever that is that they actually mix it up.
Right.
Really good test for him.
They need to have a class on scorekeeping. These judges is terrible. God.
Okay, brother. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't judge any of the fights.
I know.
All right, folks. This is an espresso shot of the Ozone for you. Glad that you tuned in. You can give us a call anytime you want and participate in the Ozone yourself at 424-254-9663. That's 424-254-ZONE. I am your host, Omar Miller, reminding you that we're all in this thing together, so treat each other with love and respect. This is the Ozone.
Ozone.
I'm just living the dream. I'm in love with the lights.